It's day 11 of the 12 days of Claudemas. We're nearly to the end of doing vibe coding using Claude Code for all the little micro applications we're building. Now, yesterday, what we worked on was the N8N workflow, complex workflows for image and video generation. What we're doing today is putting it all together in storytelling. Now, the progression has been that we've started with the foundation and the brains. After that, we went into the multimedia generations. So we had voices, we had music, we had images, and we had video. After that, we've been working on compound or integrated systems. So we did our thumbnails. We've also communicated with other applications. Then we started talking to N8N to build complex workflows. Today being storytelling, what I think we should do is look at the creative section. That means we could bring together the narration with a little bit of music. We could take the images and generate a bit of video, and then together we can combine them and create a complete video. Anyway, let's get into it. We're starting at a blank canvas here with the story builder, but we've got all these capabilities that we've built over the last 10 days, and hopefully a few of them could integrate together to help us come up with an idea. So what I think we'll do is come up with some sort of 15-second story, because we can use the N8N workflows to generate 5-second videos, and we just need 3 of them. And I think what we can do is build our prompts using the voice commands and the intake system. And I might just use regular Claude code to come up with some music or narration sort of prompts to go with it, a story maybe. So the best place to start is the intake. And what we're going to do is create some little audio video files. And what we'll do is we'll put them over in FlyHub. We'll create a new chapter in a moment. That's where we're going to put any of the prompts that are going to come through to the intake, either as the prompt for generating an image, or the prompt for editing that image into something different, or the prompt for doing the animation. Now, a simple idea for what the 3 beats or the 15 seconds of video will be is that in the first 5 seconds, we might show the proverbial iceberg. On top is some vibe-coded prompting. Down below is some code. In the second beat, it might be good to take the narration, the music, and the images and generate a video, and that could be the transition we're looking for. And the third beat, which again will be 5 seconds, could be the 12 GIFs, the Claudemas being given, and what are they? So that's things like the harnesses, the brains, the creatives, the foundations, and the integrations. So we'll come over to our FlyHub application because this is what we can integrate with. And what we'll do is create a new chapter, and this is going to be the prompts chapter. And whenever we create any prompts, they will come through as videos and go into a new section here called 03 prompts. First prompt is of an iceberg, and above the iceberg is some vibe coding, and below the waterline is the code generated by the prompts. Prompt. Edit the image so that we're focused in on just the code and we have more detail. Prompt. Cinematic zoom from the top of the iceberg down to the bottom of the iceberg where the code is. What I did there was create 9 different videos representing 9 different prompts. And if we were to go and click on those individual videos, what we would see is the text that I was saying. And this one we could use to build our first image. The second one we could build to edit that image. And the third one we could build to animate between the 2 images. And this was all part of the interrupt area. What we're going to need is the code of the video, C06, and whatever chapter and segment code we'd like to pull in. So we've come over to the interrupt, and we know that it's project code C06. We know that we're on chapter 3. And we'll put it in a little code for this project. We'll call it 002. We know that we want to grab from segment 1, 2, and 3. So if we do an import, we should get those prompts coming through. So I'm just going to press save, and that should now be loaded. Now I've just changed the project code, but now we're going to do segment 4, 5, and 6. We'll load those in and save the project. Then we come back up to the project code, change it, and we're going to put in 7, 8, and 9 and import that. and we'll just save the project. Now, that's not the most efficient way to load in prompts, but it does allow us to demonstrate the interop with the Fly Hub application. We should be able to come over to the N8N workflow. I've picked 002 and we'll just load that project in. Now what we can do is run it through these compilation prompts to produce machine prompts. So we'll click on this button. It's using the Claude Agent SDK, which is from Day 2 Brain. And here's our prompt for the first image. It's a minimalist iceberg diagram illustration, split composition showing tip above the water. Then we've got crop the image tightly to only show the code section. And this feels a bit wrong. This is a zoom out to show the full iceberg. I'm not sure whether that's what we want. So I might just be a little bit more explicit here. So I've changed the voice prompt to cinematic pan from vibe text at the top of the iceberg down to the bottom of the iceberg where the code will be, and to zoom in. So we'll just do a generation again. I have decided I will do a bit of style. So I've just put into the first and the second prompt, which is all about the image generation, that it's an arcade 8-bit graphic. So we'll do one more regen of the machine prompts, and we can see those prompts changing here and here. And let's just see what happens when we generate it with N8N. While we're waiting for that to generate, I will show a previous version that I did, and this was using the golden age of comics as the style. And what we've got is our iceberg image 1, our iceberg image 2, and then we've got our little video. We could play that and just see it changing and zooming in at the moment. But it looks like this one's finished. We've got our 8-bit graphics. Let's see what we get. We have this vibe coding prompt ideas. That's the iceberg. We've got the code down the bottom, and we can see it is zoomed in quite well. Let's just see what the animation looks like if we play it, and it is certainly a zooming in on the code down below. That is awesome. So let's load in 003. So I've just annotated these two prompts with the style that we want. We'll just generate a machine prompt for this. We've got the modification to have 8-bit graphics. We'll generate the two images and the video again. Looks like I've got a slight bug because our history isn't showing the one that we did generate. But let's just check it is down in VS Code so we can see the images here. We can also see the video that we want to play. So when the new one comes down, it'll go into 0003 folder, and the status just changed. Let's see what we got. Narration, music, image. I see a little bit of difference. We've got some Space Invaders below it. Let's see what happens if we play this. So the three areas in a Venn diagram, and the text is a bit, oh, that's really cool. That's interesting. So let's go and do our last one, and we'll load the project and we'll change it to 8-bit arcade game. We'll paste it in twice and we will generate our prompts for this one. Noticing another bug, and that's that the prompts don't get cleared away when we load in the human one. But this generation is a CRT monitor showing Claude code. We've got 12 GIFs. Now that's not spelt right. So I'll change it in the human one and we'll let it regenerate through here. That's looking a lot better, and we've got the edit in place. Let's now see what happens when we generate these images. And while we're waiting for that, I'll just take you over to DreamingComputers. So this is a video done by a mate of mine, Steve. You can find out more about what he does with video generation and movie making over on DreamingComputers.com. But the sort of work he does with comfy UI and advanced models and workflows is really cool. And being able to hook it up to something simple like N8N is a real gift for me. But let's come back and see where we're up to. It's still generating the workflow. These actually take about 2 or 3 minutes to run the way they are at the moment. Now it looks like that's finished. So we have the 12 GIFs, and then we've got it changing to foundation. Let's go and hit play on this, see what we get. And pretty good effect coming through. Well, that's pretty cool. I think what we want to do now is try and figure out the music and lyrics. And I think the easiest way is just to grab the transcript from this video that we've been recording. So everything I've been saying, like the prompts and all the different sections, we've got a transcript for that. So if we click on that, we can see intro. It says it's day 11 of the 12 days of Claudemas. If we go down further, we should be able to see all the prompts that we wrote. And what we could do is just copy this and use it in Claude. So as per usual, what we'll do is we'll head over to Claude Code, and I've just run the progress command to bring everything up to date where we're at. Now, before I did this video, I also changed a few stories because things like saving the videos and saving the images wasn't working. So there's been a couple of new stories added in, but we should be up to day 11. We are, and I'm just going to put in a quick planning sort of prompt and say, can I just get you to read the following information and just say yay and wait? And we're just putting that in. And what we'll do is we'll paste in all the transcript that we had. Now it's loaded the whole transcript into context, but what we really want to do is break it out into two things. The first is the lyrics for some sort of song that goes for about 15 seconds, not much longer than that. And the other is what sort of music would make sense. So we'll come back to our terminal. If you understand the information I just gave you, the transcript for the video that we're creating, and you can see that there are a bunch of prompts in the middle of it around about chapter 3. What you should be able to figure out is that we've got this 15-second video that we're trying to create. Now, the 15-second video is made up of 3 lots of 5-second videos, each with their own starting and ending image, add a little bit of an animation. The other thing that's going on is that there are 3 beats in a story. What I need you to do for me is come up with 4 variations of what a 15-second lyrics could look like. And then after that, can you also give me a musical style that would make sense, probably to do with the 8-bit graphics? We'll let that come through and we'll see what we get. We should get 4 separate lyrics that we could play around with and 1 sort of musical style. So what we've got here are a bunch of lyrics we could play with, and it should be fairly easy to come over to our lyric engine. We'll go with a female first and we'll just generate an audio, and that's only 7 seconds long. What we'll do is we'll come back and say that first narration you gave me was only 7 seconds long. When played, I need it to be about 18 seconds long. We've got a new one to work with. Let's copy that and we'll come back to our tool. We'll paste it in and we'll stay with the female. We'll generate. And it's a little bit of trial and error at the moment because the one we just did went for 26 seconds. And I think that's perfect. We're on 15. I changed the voice.
Prompts above and code below. Watch the magic start to flow.
So that one's okay. It's a little boring as a voice, but what we should be able to do now is pick a musical style. We'll come back to our application. This time we're doing music and I'm going to use Sunu, and I can pick the latest version. So we'll do that and we'll just paste that in. And I've decided to split it out into multiple fields. We're going to use this style and these tags. So we'll put in the prompt, we'll put in the tags, and we'll try with both lyrics and no lyrics. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So we have our first one. We'll just change that to say 8-bit and we'll say no lyrics. Most of this was just intro music and the lyrics didn't start till about the 15th second. Instead, what we'll do is we'll go back to the terminal. Now, we already have all the context of most of what I've said in this video already in Claude Code. It already has a little bit of information about what day 11 is going to be. But what we could do is come down and see if it can write a new specification based on the goals that we've already talked about. So let's kick off the prompt as, can I get you to update the requirements document we have for day 11? You already know all the information that I've said in the video up until now. It's good context for you to work with. I think all we need is some little tool that will allow us to select a narration file, select a music file, and select up to 3 video files. And what we're going to do with that is combine the 3 videos together. Hopefully we'll end up with around about a 15-second video. And then we're going to layer on the music, and the music will probably have to have a reduced volume. And then after that, we'll layer on the narration. And the narration should also be optional, because we do have versions of the music with the lyrics already built in. So we'll put that in and let's just see what it does. Now you can see it writing the requirements, but I've decided to put in a little prompt straight away anyway. It says, can you update the form, so that as an option, we could put in a start and an end time. And what that should do from a core functionality point of view is alter this line slightly. The assembly and the video layering should be pretty similar. We can see where it's been drawing some mock designs in the documentation it's building. We can also see that the main tool it's going to use is FFmpeg, and that's a pretty normal command line tool for doing video editing. Well, this is perfect. It's got some configuration ideas for setting the volume of the music, but also what the start and the end time will be. We should just be able to go to the developer, and while he's loading, we'll come back to our application. And if we look at the story, this is where it's all going to be. So there'll be some sort of form where we can drop down and select stuff and build up our video. So we can see information kicking in. Notice how Claude knows to automatically give you the next prompt. Implementing FR20, which is the story builder, is the next thing it thinks we should be doing. So I pressed tab and then I pressed enter, and there it goes. It's got 10 little tasks that it's going to work through to build this. We won't see the actual screen pop up till about this time when the create day 11 builder front end component happens. In fact, we won't even see it there because it won't be until it gets wired into the application that we see it. So the creation of the video is all going to happen with this tooling, the FF Video Assembler module. This is interesting. So behind the scenes on my computer, if we bring up Visual Studio, we can see this folder called catalog. So it's going to come up with a new idea for the videos, and probably not that one because that's the videos generated from day 10. So let's just see what it's doing. It's set up an API endpoint to do all the work. So when we post to this location API story assemble, we give all the data that we need. It should be able to call the FFmpeg function, I'm assuming, though I can't see it in that code. And now it's about to build the front-end component. When we look at the website, nothing has changed here just yet, but with the wiring up any moment, we should see a change. What do we got? It's looking okay, except for this failed to load assets. That's down the bottom. What I'm going to do is just copy this information. We'll go back to our terminal. I'm just putting that information in with the failed to load assets when the page loads. You can see everything it's done. It's done a fair bit of work, but it's still going to work through this particular issue for us. So it had a bit of a misnaming on the assets. It's just called catalog, and we now have a page. What we're going to do is try and test our first generation. So we've got 3 video clips. They add up to 15 seconds. We've got 1 narration adds up to 15 seconds. And we've got 1 little audio, which we're going to set to 35%. Now, I haven't done the assembled video yet. We're pressing it for the first time and it's failing. All I've done is pasted it in. It's coming up with an idea to fix it. Bunch of code changes coming through on the FFmpeg. Says it should be okay. We'll come back, try one more time. We'll press assemble. Big errors like this are actually easier to debug than the little ones because it usually has the file locations. And the interesting issue is on this line about it not having an audio stream. The way we bring in videos and audio file can be quite different each time. We need something more robust than what we're doing. It's assembling a video for the first time now. I've called it Iceberg 1. Let's see what happened. Now, I don't know whether it plays, but I can see that it's too long. So the video is only 15 seconds. The music is actually 39, but let's just see. We're layering the voice, the music, and the video.
Prompts above and code below. Watch the magic.
So that worked, which is cool. Let's just turn off some music. What I suspect will happen when we get to 15 seconds is it'll go black or something. Actually, it's just locked now. So what we want to do is make sure that the length of the video is no longer than the actual video. We'll come back here and say everything seems to be working good at the moment. The problem is that the videos combined are 15 seconds, but because the audio is 39 seconds, that's how long the video is. I don't want it to go for the length of the audio. I want it to go for the length of the combined video. So we'll just put that in and see what it does. Now, while it's doing its thing, I know that the narration works, but I'm going to turn it off. Instead, I'm going to play with music that already has lyrics, but I'm going to increase it to the 15-second mark. And if we come down to the code, it's made some sort of change. So we'll come back and we will assemble another video. Now, I don't know the exact time that the lyrics kick in, but we've got something now. Edit. So I'll put that right at the end of the video. Anyway, I'm Happy Dave. Please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in the prompt engineering or learning more about vibe coding, then check out the link in the description for my school. Today was day 11, which was putting it all together. Tomorrow we'll try and build a 12 days of Claudemas song based on the 12 days of Christmas. And my goal with that will be to turn it into a really special sort of standalone video at the end of the series. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.
Songs above and code below. Once the magic start to flow, narration, music, images unite. Coming together, shining bright. 12 gifts emerging to the light. Found